This is not the first video on soy on this channel. I've published several videos in the past, and it's interesting how much attention those videos get. They tend to get more views than the average video on this channel. People are actively researching soy. Just have a look at that blue line. It tends to be above the gray area. There tends to be more people looking for soy than for any other altcoin. And it's not just my YouTube statistics, it's also the statistics on CoinGecko. Soy is one of the most viewed cryptocurrencies on the entire website. And that's interesting given that soy doesn't really have that large of a market cap, and also given that the price development isn't really that great, especially recently. And so in this video we try to answer, does it make sense to buy the dip right now? On the 10th of October, soy got a massive liquidation event. The price temporarily dropped by 84%. That's much more than the average cryptocurrency. The average altcoin dropped by roughly 50%, not by more than 80%. So if you were long soy, if you are betting on rising soy prices with perpetual futures, with derivatives, you very likely got knocked out on that day. Now, since that liquidation event, soy has not recovered, rather the opposite. It continued to bleed by more than 50%. Meanwhile, the others market cap dropped by less than 50%. And while it also couldn't recover since the liquidation event, it only went down by 21%. So soy was a clear underperformer. And the big question is why? At what point does it make sense to buy this dip? So here's the funding rate of soy over time. And surprise, surprise, the 10th of October is when it turned very much negative because all the longs got liquidated. So the few longs that were remaining, they received the funding fee from the shorts. So betting on rising prices directly during the crash was a good idea. But right now, the longs have to pay the shorts. So currently, betting on falling prices of soy isn't just profitable in terms of price development, it's also profitable in terms of funding. On the 10th of October, 180 million worth of positions on soy got liquidated. And so since soy is falling further and further, since the momentum is so negative, at what point might we see a support? At what point is soy actually cheap again? Let's compare the asset with the rest of the crypto space. Let's have a look at soy relative to the others market cap. Now, the others market cap looks at all of crypto that are not in the top 10. And we can see that the relative valuation close to the ICO price was also a resistance in January and May of this year. Since then, we are coming down. This again is the flash crash. Soy is now underperforming the others market cap extremely consistently. Every single day it's doing worse. And it might still have quite a bit of way to go. More than 50% loss from here. Again, currently the sell-off is extremely consistent. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, then feel free to give it a like. It will help to spread the word. It will tell the algorithm to show the video to more people. Thank you very much. Have a look at the open interest on soy. So the amount of bets on the soy price on the perpetual futures. There is positive correlation between the bets and the price, as in when there's more open interest, the price tends to be high. When there's less open interest, so less bets, the price tends to be low. Currently, the open interest is going down, so the asset is deleveraging, but we are not yet at historical lows. We are not yet at the 50 or 100 million mark in terms of open interest. We are still at 700 million. We did see a turnaround though once at around 500 million open interest. Now here's what I think is going on. Some people got allocations of soy tokens over time that they did not directly sell. With the flash crash, it got visible how much risk there is in soy. Now the circulating supply isn't growing that much anymore, relatively speaking. The inflation rate used to be much worse, but I don't think that all of those tokens have already been sold off. The early investors might take a more conservative stance and simply sell soy over time. And it's the constant sell pressure of those early investors that's likely causing every single day an underperformance of soy versus all other altcoins. Now this is just relative performance, right? So when the market overall is going up by 10%, it doesn't mean that the soy price cannot go up as well, but it's likely going up less. So when Bitcoin goes up by 10%, or when the altcoins on average go up by 10%, soy might only go up by 7% or by 6%. And that then causes long-term underperformance. That's then causing this chart. So we are just talking about opportunity costs. We're talking about how well soy performs relative to the rest of the market. The on-chain metrics actually don't look too bad. This is the total value locked, so the capital that's on the soy chain. And yes, this crashed massively from 2.5 billion all the way to 1 billion. But a lot of that is contributed towards the soy price crashing. So measured in soy, the TVL doesn't look that bad. Here's the stablecoin market cap over time. It's not necessarily growing, but it's also not collapsing. And here's the decentralized trading volume over time. Also rather long-term growing. And measured in soy, the growth is even more consistent. So really, fundamentally, the technology isn't that bad, as in it does see growth. The problem is that the sell pressure is way beyond that growth of the technology. Here's soy relative to Bitcoin. We are also not yet at the bottom. Relative to BTC, we might see a drop of 23%, potentially even 38%. So I think it's a good idea to bet on falling prices of soy, relatively speaking. So we don't want to short the soy price directly. We want to go short soy and we want to go long something else. Long Bitcoin, long Ethereum, long Solana, long something that we are more bullish on compared to soy, because soy again sees constant selling pressure. But that selling pressure on a given day might not be enough if crypto suddenly bounces. So it's important to open both of those positions, right? To go long something that we are bullish on, but to go short soy at the same time, so that the macro environment tends to cancel out and that we really just bet on soy going down. And then of course, once we get closer to those support levels relative to other altcoins or relative to Bitcoin, it does make sense to close that position very quickly, because at that point at the support level we might again see a very quick rally, as we saw for example in April in Ethereum. Once an asset is depressed enough, we can of course see a bounce, but currently the momentum is very negative and I don't see that bounce happening anytime soon. If you want to learn more about relative valuation trades and how I personally set this up, and also what kind of positions I have opened, then feel free to check out the premium membership. The link is over here. It's also down below. It's thebitcoinstrade.com. If it's your very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in premium. Cheers.